What's going on, everybody? I get asked about this a lot. As you can tell from the title, it is about being gay and being a doctor. For those of you that don't know, I'm an optometrist, which is eyes. I'm gonna poke myself in the eye with that, so I should stop. And I get a lot of questions about how my personal life, being gay, and my life as a doctor interfere with each other. You know, I came out at 15 in a small southern town in Arkansas. And yeah, there were pretty hard times. And then I feel like I got by pretty well. You know, I don't feel like those hard times really got to me. And I knew I wanted to be an optometrist since I was a little kid. I saw the impact that the optometrist made on me by giving me glasses and contact lenses when I was 8 when I started wearing glasses, and was a pretty high myope, which means you're really nearsighted, meaning you have good near sight but bad far sight, right? So I couldn't see things far away, and I remember getting my glasses and just being able to see the world more clearly. It was so much better. And I wanted to make that change for other people too. So for me, it was a pretty easy decision since I was a little kid. I actually shadowed an optometrist in 7th grade, my city optometrist that lived in my little town. And it just even more solidified the fact that I wanted to do. He had a great life, a good work-life balance, a great family life, and then he was just making these amazing changes for these people all day. Like, that's all he did was make people happy with their vision. This was in 7th grade, so this was before I was out of the closet, right? But then when I was 15, so, you know, a couple years later, I came out. You know, I still wanted to be an optometrist, so I kept on track with optometry. Graduated high school, got into college, did the pre-med thing, got through a bunch of my science classes, and realized that I needed to shadow an optometrist again as an adult, you know, as a professional and not as a kid, so that you can see more about how the profession is actually, and you know, be more hands-on. So I actually went back to my hometown optometrist where I originally shadowed, and he was a great guy. He's always been a really nice guy to me, very welcoming and accepting, and I've known him for a long time. And yeah, he was like, yeah, please come in and shadow. He knew that I was gay and was completely, you know, okay with it. In a small town, you know, it's 50-50. But for confidential reasons, obviously, he had to ask the patients, is it okay if someone comes in the exam room? You know, it's a private exam, so you don't want some stranger sitting in there without getting permission first. So yeah, most patients were okay with it, but yeah, there was this one lady who knew who I was. She was a teacher at my school, actually, and had never really given me any problems in school, but when he asked if it was okay if I came in to shadow, she said, I don't agree with his lifestyle choices, so I would rather he not come in the exam room. And it hit me at that moment that my sexuality was going to interfere with my work life. That was a patient that would not have come to see me if I had practiced there. And I know I'm in the South and a lot of them knew who I was, and it's a very small town, but it just hit me at that moment that, wow, this is something that I'm probably gonna actually have to deal with in the professional world. I just realized that being gay may pose potential problems in my professional career, even though it had nothing to do with how well I practiced, you know, or how good of a doctor I would have been. So from that point on, I kind of pulled myself back, and I told myself that even though I was gay, I wasn't gonna let that get in the way of me being a doctor. So I was still gonna be myself and be gay, but I was just gonna be less outward about it. You know, be with men, go do the things that I wanted to do, but just not let everyone know, or hide it almost, you know? I made a point to tell less people. I made sure my social media was straight passing, which I had a boyfriend that was in the closet at the time for several years, so that wasn't that hard for me because I wasn't really posting anything like that. When I finished college and I was getting into optometry school, I didn't tell admissions anything about it. Anytime they would ask, you know, are you dating anyone? Do you have a girlfriend or anything like that? Because sometimes they would just be personal and want to know. And I would just, you know, say no. I just hide it and not say anything. After I was accepted, I was starting school and I was going to make a point to not let people know. I told a very few close group of friends, like my roommate, because I feel like he needed to know, just because he was going to be living with me, and I feel like that was something that he needed to know. I don't know, but he was fine, and he didn't tell anyone. I guess I just didn't want to lie. So at that point, when people would ask me, I would tell them, but say, hey, just don't talk about it. I just wanted people to see me as a good clinician and a good student before they saw me as the gay kid in school. I wanted to be known for being smart and not for being gay, you know? Not that being gay is bad, I think that being gay is amazing. But I wanted people to think of me for being smart first. That's what I wanted. So, I mean, eventually everyone in school found out, you know? I mean, you just talk about it and people ask, and it just ended up getting out. And I was, at the time, the only openly gay kid at school. Like 400 students across the school. Yeah, I was the only openly gay kid there. I just kind of realized while I was in school that it was a process of coming out all over again. And then that was when I realized that you never really stop coming out, that every time you do anything new, you're gonna have to continue to come out. You make new friends. Obviously, it's a lot easier when you get more comfortable with it, but yeah, I mean, you still have to, people are gonna ask, are you dating a girl? And you have to decide at that moment, do you want to say something else? What do you say? You have to decide. Like, patients all the time say, let me hook you up with my daughter. Let me, you should go on a date with my granddaughter. You're just trying to be nice. And so just, what do you say? No, thank you. You gotta be nice to these people too. I mean, so you kind of have to be ready and you have to know what to say. My optometry school classmates were so much more respectful of my sexuality than college and high school. I don't know if it's just that we're all older and there's that level of professionalism and experience that gave us that ability, but even the people that were very religious and disagreed with me were still very respectful. I was in an optometry school in the South, so I was very impressed and surprised. It was my business. They had all seen that I was a great student and clinician, and that's all they really cared about, which was really nice. In my last year of optometry school, I started doing YouTube and Instagram, something I wanted to do, and it looked fun, so I did it. I saw how big a difference YouTube made for me as someone who was going through all of this in the South and not with the exposure and not that many gay friends, stuff like that, so I wanted to do that for other people. I wanted to post what I wanted. I wanted to be myself and open up and have experiences and share those. I was feeling much more confident with myself and comfortable with my sexuality, but I was still scared, right? So I created Andrew Goes Places, which is a separate name from my last name, which is Neighbors. Because at the time I didn't want it to be known. I didn't want my name to be attached to it because I was scared. If I wanted to post a fitness picture or a Speedo picture or something at a gay event or something like that, I didn't want to have to worry about it be connected to my name and my school finding out that I was doing that, or a patient or an employer or anything, because I was worried. I went through my rotations, which you get to like travel and see patients at different areas at like different types of clinics across the country. My social media started to get some traction actually, which was a surprise to me. You know, I always told myself if one person felt some way or made a difference to one person, that I had done what I set out to do, and then the rest of it was for me, you know. Eventually, people that I was on rotations with and attending doctors and patients even would recognize me or say something about how they had seen me somewhere, and no one cared. That was the thing. Everyone that I talked to about it, or everyone that knew, didn't care. Everyone was just very encouraging about it, which was what was nice. So what about as a practicing doctor? That was pretty much all through school. So many people leave comments saying, Andrew, you're a doctor and you post Speedo pictures, or Andrew, this is not professional. Aren't you afraid of what's gonna happen with your job or your patients? Like, what if somebody doesn't wanna see you? And my response has always been, I know my patients and my job know that I'm a good doctor, and they like me for me, you know? I have patients that tell me all the time they feel like they have a personal connection with me because they know about my personal life, and it's something that gives them that connection, and they feel comfortable then coming to me and talking to me about all kinds of problems. which helps me better their care, honestly. So it makes me even a better doctor to treat them even better, you know? Being able to come to your doctor to talk about those things and have a good relationship with them is so important. If a person needs me to be their doctor, if a person needs me to see them or needs me to help them, I'm gonna help them. I'm not gonna look into their life and say, I don't agree with what you do or how you are. I don't care what they do or who they are. If they need my help, I as a doctor am gonna help them. And if they can't respect me and my life and who I am and say, okay, well then I'll accept the care from you even though I disagree with you, and like accept you for who you are just the same way that I would for them to see them, then I don't want to see that person to begin with. If a patient doesn't like who I am, and they can't accept that and they have a problem with that, I don't want them as a patient. You are totally welcome to leave if you do not like my life or who I am, for any reason, right? Sometimes you just have a doctor that you don't mesh with, and maybe that's a reason for you. A lot of people say that may affect me financially. Maybe I won't get the job because of a prejudice, or have a patient that leaves and is not going to pay me because of a prejudice. And honestly, you'll be much happier if you'll just be who you are and be happy about it, and however you want to do that, and then let everything else fall in after that, right? That's got to be your priority. Because if you make your priority only about seeing as many people as you can and pleasing everyone and making everyone else happy above yourself, you're not going to live a happy life. Be yourself, however that is comfortable for you. And people will respect you for that, you know? But yes, optometry is a great career. If you're considering optometry, a lot of people message me saying that they are. I absolutely love my job, and it's very rewarding. There are ups and downs to every job, right? So all I say, if you're considering optometry, is really make sure you know what it's like. Get in there, observe an optometrist, observe several optometrists. Talk to them about not only patient care, but business and their work-life balance. Just make sure you know what you're getting into with any profession. You should make sure you know if you're gonna spend a ton of money and time to get into that profession, you should have a really good idea of what it is before you do it. And try other stuff. Try a bunch of other things to make sure that that's what you like and that's what you wanna do, okay? Whew. All right, I've been rambling. If you guys have any questions or anything, leave them in the comments below. I'll try to answer some of those down there. Also, please subscribe if you don't already. All right. I'll see you guys soon, and remember, never stop learning.